If you thought there was only anti-American sentiment brewing at the moment, you'd be mistaken. But you could thank our representatives, that's right, our political class, behaving like petulant children. There is a lot of anti-Canadian sentiment happening right now. And Joe Rogan just called it out and said, we need to stop this. Ladies and gents, welcome back. Well, setting the stage is Donald Trump, of course. He's come out way ahead of everybody else, and he's doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down every time. He was on Laura Ingraham last night, and he had this to say. He was pushing this. I mean, it's not any less of the rhetoric, but he's really enforcing this. He wants to take Canada. He wants Canada to become part of the United States of America.
Here's my problem with Canada. Canada was meant to be the 51st state because we subsidize Canada by $200 billion a year. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We have a lot of lumber. We freed it up, as you know, last week. We're freeing it up so that you can actually cut down a tree without being, given the death penalty. Because what these radical environmentalists have done to our country, but we freed it up. But we don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything. We certainly don't want their automobiles. They make a lot of millions of automobiles are sent in. I'd rather have them made in Michigan. I'd rather have them made in South Carolina or any one of our...
You're tougher with Canada than you are with some of our biggest adversaries.
Only because it's meant to be our 51st state.
It's meant to be, he says. Now, of course, what do you take? What do you take from that? I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section down below. We're going to be having lots of other people chatting about this. I'm going to say it again. Make sure you subscribe to the second channel. The link is in the description down below. But a lot of the long form content where we're going to be talking about the nuances of a lot of these discussions will be happening on that channel. I'm going to keep the shorter videos on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed over there as well as we migrate most of that content over to that side. But this is where we're at with Donald Trump pulling fast ones here and talking about, the 51st state, as he's calling it. And a lot of Canadians are saying, forget this, don't want that. Some Canadians are saying, yeah, awesome, let's make that happen. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know which side of this you stand on. Of course, I'm trying to stay kind of neutral on this one, but it's hard to because I am a dual citizen of the United States and Canada. I love both countries. I absolutely do love both countries. And I want to see Canada and the United States come together again. And this is kind of what Joe Rogan's opinion is on this one. He voiced his opinion just yesterday, and this is what he had to say.
Man, do they love a good winter sport up there.
We got to become friends with Canada again. We have to,
I'm down.
This is so ridiculous. Canada. I can't believe that there's anti-American and anti-Canadian sentiment going on. It's the dumbest fucking feud.
There it is.
That's nuts. Look at the water consumption.
Is there?
That's crazy. Right when
I love on this pod
go.
where if I say something, I got to be ready for you guys to fact check my ass.
Jamie's ready.
Is there anti-Canadian sentiment?
Yeah, there's a lot of idiots that now think that they're our enemy.
Okay.
That why are we subsidizing Canada?
Right.
Well, how come they don't have their own military? Well, they don't. So let's just deal with it as it is.
Trudeau is out, right? He's leaving. I feel
they
like
got a new guy who's just as bad. Same thing.
But
they got a new party. 150 people voted. Now they have a new guy running the country. But their whole election system is so different. They don't have a specific time when they have elections, and so
they can call an election, and I think it happens within 3 weeks.
The whole thing is so crazy, and so I don't know what's happening with their politics. But I just want America and Canada to get along. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's as someone who's from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and
I don't really think they should be our 51st state. There, I said it.
That you said it? He's on record.
It would be fun if it happened. It would be fun. I think Greenland's more accessible.
Yeah.
We could probably buy that.
Yeah.
If we want a 51st state, it's Greenland. Plus, if global warming is real because of all the digging and oil and all that shit, it'd be good to have a cold spot to eventually warm up.
So that's the sentiment there. Of course, Joe Rogan saying it as it is, Canada's got a bad political system right now. There is a really, really bad setup in Canada where we have a prime minister who's just been elected by, 150,000 people, a sliver of the population. Many people were disqualified from the vote because, people knew that this was going to be a vote for the prime minister of Canada. So what did they do? They joined the Liberal Party so that they can be part of democracy, and they were denied this aspect of democracy. So there is no democracy in Canada as it stands. And this is why people are calling for a general election right now. Of course, the Liberal Party is playing the game of trying to see if they can garner up some more support. It's been working largely. This is really the unfortunate thing, because we're going to have more of the same if we have a legitimate Carney fourth term, because that's what it would be. But this is where we're at. This is where we're at in Canada. Joe Rogan saying, yes, we need to get things back together. Let's screw our heads on right, really, at the end of the day. And I think a lot of this sentiment, yes, is coming from Donald Trump, but a lot of it is pushback from Canadian politicians, drumming this up, making it much worse than it needs to be. Seriously, what we need to be doing is going to the negotiation table with Donald Trump. And I think this is what he's signaling at. It's a very bolsterous way of doing it. But let me know in the comments what you think when our prime minister, instead of negotiating with Trump on his first days, is flying over to Europe to talk to Emmanuel Macron and other European leaders, when the real situation is at our southern border here in Canada. Let me know in the comments what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.